Alright, I am going live a couple minutes early here so I can get some stuff set up. Just waiting for some viewers here. Wait, how do I make that? No, that looks bad. I hate how my camera quality on here is like so bad. Looks like we really have no viewers right now. This is tripping me off. When I move right in, well, but we have some viewers here. Welcome to my stream. I'm just going to show some stuff here real quick for our severe weather forecast for today. Let me get that up here real quick. It'll be on in a second here. Alright, there we go. Now I just need to go. Alright, here's our severe weather outlook for today here. You can see we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather across the eastern Texas Panhandle into western Oklahoma here. We have a slight risk of severe weather from more of the Texas Panhandle to northwestern Texas, more of western Oklahoma, all the way into south central Kansas there, including Wichita, Woodward, Amarillo, Lubbock there. Looking at our tornado front, we actually have a hatch risk for tornadoes, or a SIG 1 threat for tornadoes, which means reasonably about 1 in every 4 or 5 tornadoes in that area there will be EF2 to EF3 intensity. And we do have a small 10% area there where we have slightly greater confidence in tornadoes occurring. For wind threat, we do have a decently large 15% wind risk, and that is hatched, which means some of the wind gusts there could briefly reach hurricane force there around 75 to 80 miles an hour, and that it extends all the way down to east of Lubbock there. And for a hail flare, that's really going to be our main threat. We have a 30% hail risk across the eastern Texas Panhandle into west Oklahoma, and then we obviously have that 50% hail risk stretching from south central Kansas, west Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle there, and we do have that SIG 1 area there where we could see some hail reaching 2 to 3 inches in diameter, so make sure you're prepared for that. And I want to briefly look at tomorrow as well. I'm not going to go in super detailed into it, but we do have a kind of S-shaped enhanced risk of severe weather for tomorrow. Here's our tornado threat. They did reduce the 10% tornado threat to just down here because there's a lot of uncertainty about what's really going to happen up here. But we do have a 15% wind threat there. That's likely going to be our mainly QLCS area there. And then we have a large area that could see very large hail there tomorrow. So make sure you're prepared for that as well. Anyways, let me get the radar on here. And we do actually have a tornado watch out right now before I get to the radar. Right now, 60% chance of 2 or more tornadoes, 40% chance of 1 tornado being EF2 or greater. So if you're in those areas across the eastern Texas Panhandle to west Oklahoma, pay attention to that. We will likely also see some hurricane force wind gusts as well, just some wind gusts in general too. And we will likely see some very large hail, potentially reaching up to 3 inches in diameter there. Anyways, let's get into the radar here. Give me a second while I get it to work. But here we go. Now I can get to the radar, if I can find where it is. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Alright, and then there we go. Share screen. Alright, here's our radar right now. Going down here to Texas, you can see we really have one major storm right now. It seems to have weakened a little bit. Earlier it had some red, now it's just yellows and greens. But but it's still upscaling right now, and it looks like it might split sometime as it matures. And when you have a supercell splitting, basically the northern storm splits up to the north there. Mainly it becomes a hail producer and a sometimes damaging wind threat, and really nothing for tornadoes. But the southern split, that starts to move a lot more east, and it becomes a much bigger tornado threat along with some large hail as well. So we'll have to watch out for that with this storm. It's already getting a kind of nice supercell look as it's maturing right now, though. Down here to the northeast of Turkey, Texas, we also have a storm here, and we also have a few other blimps, but I would generally say the storm to the southwest of Clarendon, Clarendon, to the south of Claude here, I would say that's our biggest threat for right now, and obviously here's our enhanced risk of severe weather. We do actually have a storm up here by Arnett, Oklahoma, near Shattuck. Um, Looks like a decent little storm. It's kind of hard to tell from radar what's really going on. Let's go up in velocities. Maybe some upper level rotation, mid level rotations there, but nothing too concerning. That shouldn't be too big of a threat for now. But we'll obviously watch that storm and these storms back here as well. Right now, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings. Um, Obviously we do have these storms, and these storms are maturing, so we'll have to watch for that. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat, as long as we're at least somewhat weather related or appropriate for my channel. So no like inappropriate words, no curse words, obviously. But make sure you ask some questions if you have any. We do have a new radar scan in here, and that storm up here seems to be weakening even more. Seems to be becoming more of a rain shower here. If I go on the um, loop here, you can see it was mature for a little while there, and then it moved up to the north here, and now it's pretty much weakening. I wonder what caused that. Maybe it just wasn't. Maybe it's just like a failing thunderstorm. I think the most interesting storm right now, honestly, is this one near Gage and Shattuck in Oklahoma. Looks like a little storm there. If I go up at the velocities here, as I said earlier, there may be some mid-level rotation there, so I will continue to watch that as we get further into the evening here. What's going on down here in west of Hollis? Just rain showers across Texas. Guess it's just not favorable right now. Not really sure what's going on there, but it just seems all those storms really are struggling to mature right now. We only have like one mature storm, maybe two. Let's look at this one. Is this a mature storm? Not really. So we really have like one mature storm. Um, if I turn on my tornado risk here, you could see we have that hatched area here, and that's where this one storm is. So if that storm can mature, then that's really our greatest area for a strong tornado. Oh my goodness, that was a super bad voice crack. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to turn off the outlook here. Actually, let's turn off the outlook just to see what our alerts are. You can see we have a tornado watch, red flag warnings out here. We do have a critical fire risk here. Yeah, critical risk across southeastern Colorado, eastern New Mexico. If you're surfing those areas, make sure to try to avoid fires and stuff. Don't like make a flame outside because it can easily spread into a huge wildfire today. But I think I'm mainly going to focus on the storm here because this is like the one mature storm we have. Wait, is it frozen? No. There we go. Can you guys see it now? Can you guys see it now? Um, I think you guys can see it. Yeah, I don't know why it froze. Oh, it's because I minimized it. There we go. So this is the one storm I'm going to focus on right now. It's near the airport near Gage, Oklahoma, to the east of Shattuck. And it looks like a decent little storm right now. It already seems like it's starting to develop a mezzo in the upper levels here. And if that translates down to the surface, this could become one of our tornado producing storms. We have a decent chance of seeing multiple tornadoes, with at least a couple being strong to potentially intense, because we have a really good environment today for some potentially strong tornadoes. So we'll have to watch that threat. Looking at a Clarendon storm, yeah, it's basically just a toppling rain shower right now. It probably won't do anything anytime soon, so I think you guys are pretty much safe for now, but obviously stay tuned because there could be some really bad stuff soon. Um, Anyways, if you know anyone in these areas across the eastern Texas Panhandle into western Oklahoma, or from south central Kansas into western Oklahoma, northwestern Texas, make sure you give them a call or text them and let them know that there is the severe weather threat, significant severe weather threat, including the potential for strong tornadoes, very large hail, and hurricane force wind gusts, because this isn't like another mid event where we get a few severe thunderstorm warnings, maybe a couple of tornado warnings, maybe one strong tornado in the middle of nowhere. This has the potential to be a big day, and I will be live for as long as possible. Um, let's see what people are saying. Where is that storm? Um, well, we have. If you're referring to this storm is basically to the west of Woodward here in Oklahoma. So generally, this storm, looking at the radar here, let's see. Generally, it's moving to the northeast here. So if you're in Fort Supply, I would watch out for that storm there, because this could be a significant storm for you guys here. Um, what? Um, oh, wait, I can select. Wait, let me Google Translate that real quick so I can. Let me Google Translate that. There we go. I'll be back to weather coverage in a second, but I have to Google Translate this because I do not speak a language other than English. I'm assuming that's probably Spanish, but I don't want to make any assumptions because I don't really know languages that well. There we go. How are extreme wind warnings issued when we have those trough central systems in Puerto Rico? And severe weather be expected, like a severe storm from Ernesto reaching level 5? How do we know what the weather will be like? Ooh. How are extreme wind warnings? So Puerto Rico doesn't really have many severe weather events. Most of the time, you guys will get hurricanes, but I don't think there's definitely not going to be any hurricanes like Hurricane Ernesto anytime soon for you guys. So that's good news, but I would still watch this hurricane season because it really only takes one storm. There's not really a lot of stuff in Puerto Rico because they don't really have like severe weather maps for like this for Puerto Rico or anything. Same for like Alaska, Hawaii, but from I'll look at Puerto Rico here. Yeah, you guys are just under like rip current statement, small craft advisory, nothing too significant right now. Alright, let me Google Translate that one here. We have an active tornado watch now in yellow. We want to know all the tornado flash flood. Oh. Alright, yeah, we do have a tornado watch out here. Just looking generally at the US right now, you can see we do have red flag warnings. Let me get my. How do I. There we go. I can now hopefully draw some stuff. There we go. We have red flag warnings out here in the red out here. Um, if you're in those areas, make sure to avoid burning any fires. We have that tornado watch out there. We have several numerous flood warnings out here. So I would, if you're in those areas, be advised that you probably will see at least some minor flooding to significant flooding. And generally in this area, this is just going to be winter alerts. Nothing too significant as of right now. Then you have coastal advisories out there. What does that say? No. Yeah, probably need to take a Spanish class at school because Spanish can actually help you get a better job of meteorology, I guess. Wind warning for Puerto Rico for wind speeds of 45 to 30 miles an hour or more. Weather warning for winds of 35 to 38 miles an hour or more. Yeah, that's pretty significant. But 30 to 45 miles an hour wind gusts, that's still strong. You want to have plans for that, but that's not the most significant thing, obviously. But that's still enough to cause some minor damage. So if you're in Puerto Rico, just be advised that there's probably going to be some high winds over the next few days. My weather software here really doesn't show too many alerts for Puerto Rico, really. Wind goes up to 30 knots, so that's 40 miles an hour. Yeah, makes sense. Um, Hopefully in the future they do start like issuing severe weather flash flood like forecasts for like Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico like they do the lower 48 here, because that would be very, very useful in like weather coverage stuff and informing more people. Ooh, this storm is maturing. Yep, that storm's maturing to the northwest of Hollis, Oklahoma, to the southeast of Wellington, Texas. There, that storm is actively maturing. This might be our first tornado producer of the day, really. I'm going back up to our storm here in North Oklahoma. Still a mature storm there. Going to the mid levels here. Um, Yeah, maybe some mid-level rotation starting to form, but seems not like a huge tornado threat. Though I'm going to watch this storm very closely because this is like in our prime environment and it's pretty much isolated. What? What? Oh, it glitched. I don't know why that happened, but that is basically in our prime environment there. So that would not be good. Um, let's see. Oh, I think I can actually understand some of that. National meteorologist Sandron. Yeah, 45-mile-an-hour wind gusts is still pretty significant, though I will say. Hurricanes. There's no hurricanes coming for Puerto Rico soon, but not really sure how hurricane season is gonna go. These steering patterns can change very quick, so you always have to. About love me, meteorologists will say prepare for the worst, hope for the best, especially when there's a really bad hurricane coming, because you want to be prepared for like the worst case scenario, but at the same time, you want to hope and pray that the storm will weaken and not be a significant. Oh my goodness! Whoa, that strengthened a lot from the last scan. Sheesh! Look at this. All right, look. All right, basically that same area. We went from dark green, some yellow, all the way to oranges and reds there. That is that's a big jump, guys. That's a big jump. Let me Google translate that. YouTube really needs to add a feature to like automatically translate stuff like that. Hurricanes can issue extreme warnings, as such was the case with Hurricane Maria. Hurricane Maria, that was one of our storms. I wasn't tracking weather back then, but from what I know about it, that was like one of our worst storms ever in history, like for hurricanes. Many hurricanes alert were issued. There are many alerts. Yeah. Um, I've actually heard a story from someone from Puerto Rico who was in Puerto Rico during Hurricane Maria, and they said it was really, really bad. They told like a whole story about it and how they were saying like Category 5 hurricane. Um, yeah, but that definitely has to be one of the worst storms ever. But I don't think something like that's gonna happen again, but obviously don't take my word for it. Anything can really happen in hurricane season, but this year it seems we're going to be going into El Nino, which luckily means less hurricanes, and usually they'll stay out to sea. But obviously, we saw last season, Melissa was the only storm that really made major impacts on land that got retired, caused over 100 fatalities, caused $8 to $9 billion in damages in just Jamaica there. So, obviously, it only takes one storm to make a season historic, though. Maritime warnings are in effect in Puerto Rico because we have very windy conditions, making maritime conditions dangerous in the country, causing storm surges. Yeah, I noticed a lot of alerts in Puerto Rico, a lot like small craft advisories, wind advisories, because a lot of the time there is some rough seas out there, like really bad weather. But usually Puerto Rico doesn't get thunderstorms, but we'll get like high winds. Um, I'm pretty sure there's like something in the weather that causes that. It probably has to do with like wind shear out there because there's usually a lot of wind shear out there. It usually goes away some during hurricane season, and it's also like mountains can cause that, and like seas can strengthen winds too. There's a whole ton of stuff that can cause that. I'm going to leave it. Is Lincoln getting ice droppings? No, actually, Lincoln's going to get has the potential for severe thunderstorms overnight. And if we go to tomorrow, you can see we have a higher threat there for Lincoln, a slight risk. There's a 2% tornado risk there with a SIG 1, which means you can see tornadoes up to EF2 intensity. There is a 50% significant hail risk, SIG 1, which means you could see some hail up to 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter. And there's also a 5% non-hatch wind risk there, which means generally just some wind gusts reaching 55, 65 miles an hour in isolated spots there. But generally, the main threat for tomorrow is going to be down here like Kansas City, Fayetteville, Tulsa, Topeka there. So I'll talk more about that tomorrow. But let's go back to today's outlook here because this is happening right now. And we do have another storm forming out here. Oh my goodness, that's already maturing quite quickly there. That's already maturing quite quickly. We have a couple mature storms now. Ooh, that already has an upper level meso right there. Yeah, that is not good, guys. That is not good. That is not looking good. Yeah, upper mid-level meso, they're starting to form already. That could be one of our big storms of the event. And we have yet another. We have a couple couple storms out here now. We have like 3 storms in this one area here, kind of forming a triangle. Let me edit the title of my stream now that we have some storms. There we go, there we go. That should be better now. Anyways, yeah, we have these 3 storms out here. We have some storms that those are mainly going to just be thunderstorms, though. These are the storms we're going to want to watch here, because these storms could bring our tornado threat, actually. No, I want to select. There we go. So these storms here, those are probably going to bring the locally highest tornado for the next 30 to 60 minutes. So if you're in the path of those storms there, near Childress, Memphis, Wellington in Texas, and also Hollis, Oklahoma, Turkey, Texas, watch out for those storms because this could get bad quickly. I'm going to go for a minute. I'll be right back. Don't leave the stream. Alright, I am back. What's up, Jordan? How are you, bro? Yo, we got Isaac here. Right now, we're just tracking some storms. Oh, the intense. This storm is. Everyone in the path of this storm probably needs. I'm surprised they haven't issued a special weather statement here, because we likely have some strong wind gusts that are reaching 40, 50 miles an hour already in that storm. Let's look at how the radar evolution of the storm is. I would say put a special weather statement for like. Wait, let me. I would say special weather statement like that kind of. Generally just in that area though, I guess. That's probably where we need a severe thunderstorm warning or special weather statement. With this storm out here to the west of Hollis, to the north of Childress, still intensifying there, although it's going to take a little bit to mature. We do not have any storms right now. We could get some overnight though. You made a new rap. It's almost out, or I'll watch that after the stream when I get some time. All right. We have a better chance of storms tomorrow, where we have a slight risk of severe weather. We have a potential of a strong tornado tomorrow, as well as hail up to 3 inches in diameter, and that could hit during the day during school time. So I will continue to monitor that and let And tomorrow I'm going to have a live stream, probably starting 5:30 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you tune into that for more. Um, Going back down here though. Oh yeah, there's a good-looking supercell there, and there might. Yeah, if I had to guess where the hook's going to form on this, it's kind of complicated because it's kind of moving very much north. I would say, um, right. Let me move my map here. I'd say somewhere in this area down here is where the hook's probably going to form. Let's go. We got 4 viewers. That's actually pretty good for my streams. If you have just joined my stream, make sure to share this stream with your friends and family, especially those in like the Texas Panhandle into Western Oklahoma, South Central Kansas, so that they can be alerted of this significant weather, and also consider subscribing to my channel for more future live streams and updates like this. Anyways, let's get back into the coverage. Oh, nice. We just have a little red dot right there. I'm just gonna keep that, I guess. This is our main storm we are watching right now, guys. This one is already maturing quite quickly here. We already probably are going to start having a hail core forming on this thing. Let me get this annoying pop-up out of the way here. Those to the southeast of Silverton there, near to the west of Turkey, Texas first. So if you're in that area, to the north, to the northeast of that, make sure you pay attention for any future alerts. If you know anyone in that area, generally in this area from the just northwest Texas, western Oklahoma, into south central Kansas, let them know about this. Let's go. We got 6 viewers. All right. You know what I'm gonna do? After I look at this, oh my goodness, we have a hail core forming on this. Look right here, hail core forming right there. That is this storm. We have lightning with the storm, and there's already a hook forming to the west of Criticue. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If you're from that area, feel free to correct me on that, because I do not know how to pronounce that. But that is a very, very good looking supercell right there. That is a very good looking supercell. We have a hook forming on that. We have a hail core. This is going to be a big storm. But if we can hit 10 likes, I will show my cat on the stream for him for a little bit. So if you want to see my cat, make sure you like this stream, and also consider subscribing to my channel for more live streams like this, and also share this with your friends and family in these areas in the Texas Panhandle, West Oklahoma, South Central Kansas, so that they can be alerted. But getting back to our weather coverage, that's a nice looking supercell there. It is maturing quickly. Already has a hail core. Let's look at our wind gusts with this. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a special weather statement or severe thunderstorm warning with that soon, because this is a significant supercell. Oh my goodness, 9 viewers. That is insane. Thank you guys for watching my stream. This is like the most viewers I've ever had on a stream. But this is getting serious right here. If you are to the southeast of Silverton in Texas, if you're to the east of that area, to the northeast, generally just anywhere in this area up in here, make sure you are watching for some alerts, because this storm is rapidly strengthening right now. This could be producing 1-inch hail already, and this could soon become our first tornado producer of the day. What time is it in my time? All right, I have about 45 minutes before I have to end the stream. Hopefully that's enough time for you guys. Afterwards, feel free to go to other coverages. I wish it could be live for longer, but I have school tomorrow. I will be live for as long as possible tomorrow. I'll be live until 10 p.m. if I have to for tomorrow. So I'm going to have a much longer coverage then. We actually have a couple of storms out here. Not as mature, but you can see we have this one supercell here that could be a tornado producer. This storm mostly looks just to be a heavy rain shower right now. But this is our one storm right here. If you have any questions about anything in this event or anything weather related in general, feel free to ask us questions in the live chat. I will try to answer as many of them as I can. Um, right now, I'm just waiting for the latest radar scan on this storm because that's really how we're going to know how intense this storm is. There's almost 300 people watching this radar. Yeah, that storm's continuing to get bigger. Looking at our correlation coefficient, maybe slightly weaker reflectivity, but generally your heavy rain spreading across more areas and we have even more lightning strikes. Now, that's a sign that the storm is continuing to intensify, and this is definitely a supercell here if I've ever seen one. The sky taking on the splitting supercell shape. So we might see one part of it split north become a hail producer, the other one split east become a tornado producer. That's basically summarizing a supercell split. Very basically, there's a lot more to it, but that's basically how it is. Um, you can see we have a little hook trying to form there. That's probably going to be a very visible base there, unless we get rain wrapping around that a lot. So hopefully this becomes a low precipitation hook there. I didn't want to click on that. Let's see. Let me. Oh my goodness, there's over 500 people watching this radar because of this storm here. Looking very good there on reflectivities. Looking at velocity. Going up with height, not really seeing a super defined mesocyclone yet. So thankfully there shouldn't be a tornado threat soon, but over the next 30 to 60 minutes, it's likely you'll develop a more significant mesocyclone, and it could eventually, over the next couple of hours, become a big tornado producer with a potential for a strong to intense tornadoes as it move off to the northeast. Looking at our storm to the east of Wellington, yep, that's becoming a more mature supercell now, taking on that kind of eagle wing splitting supercell shape there. So if you're in those areas there, these are mainly rural areas, but it's not like it's sitting like Amarillo or anything. Like, these are pretty much rural areas other than a few smaller cities out here. Alright, let me delete that drawing there. No, I want to delete the drawing. Delete the drawing. There we go, finally it's gone. Alright, you can see the stuff we take on that spling supercell shape. I still can't believe we got to 9 viewers on this stream. That is crazy, guys. That's a lot of views for me, and this could, yeah, this is likely going to be our first or second big tornado supercell of the night. What is, wait a second, let me do the calculations. Yeah, that makes no sense, really. I don't even know what that is up there, but that's probably just radar being weird. If we had a mesocyclone, it would be somewhere down here. This is where your main winds are going to be here. Not really seeing a huge hail core in that anymore. It looks like it was starting to develop one. But this is becoming a larger supercell now, and that supercell out here, that is becoming more mature out there too. You can see a classic supercell shape starting to develop on that. Why can I not speak today? But some heavy rain showers out here in northwestern Oklahoma here. I mean, like western Oklahoma. So if you're in those areas, watch out for some heavy rain and thunderstorms out there. Nothing severe right now. Yeah, that is probably going to be our most mature storm for at least a little while because this storm is just maturing. I don't know what caused this storm to mature and the other ones to fail. It must be something like very like in the mesoscale range. Not like oh my goodness, that's every take on that splitting supercell shape. I believe that's probably going to split within the next 30 minutes there. So that will be interesting to see if we can get that supercell to produce a tornado for the next 30 to 60 minutes here. Because it seems to be splitting. Um, if we get a tornado, will we go live? Tomorrow I'm going to be live no matter if there's a tornado or not in anywhere near like a city. So, but if there's a tornado near a city like southeast Nebraska, I will still be live no matter what, really, for like until like 9 or 10 p.m. So hopefully there's not a tornado, but if there's a tornado, I will be live and I will be live to tell you guys where exactly the tornado is, how intense it might be, so that you guys are prepared for what's coming. There we go. Yep, for viewers, we're just really watching this one supercell here because this is like the most interesting thing right now. There's really not much else interesting. We're just waiting for the supercell to like split and start producing hail and tornadoes and stuff, so that I can cover some severe weather. Um, ooh, is that what is that? Is that part of our hook or is that inflow or what? Let's go up higher in the atmosphere. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I still don't know what this is up here. Like, what is this? It looks like anticyclonic rotation, but it's like probably just radar corruption and stuff from like the radar. We do have some pretty heavy rain across generally this whole area, and the supercell is continuing to mature here. It's kind of messy now, but it's probably going to get more mature over the next 30 to 60. As it's going to get more defined for the next half hour to an hour, so we'll watch that. Is that a little hook trying to form on this storm out here, or is this just not sure? Let's go up in the atmosphere. That's very interesting. It's almost like a low precipitation hook, but it's kind of hard to tell with our velocity. I'll wait to call that like a tornadic hook yet, but I will continue to watch that, but especially this storm here. um, Not much really new to talk about because we don't really have any severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, anything. We have a lot of storms, especially across our eastern and southern parts of our enhanced risk, but the like west northwestern half of it is pretty much empty other than some scattered rain showers. So we'll see if we get anything there. Or if this is like what like produces our enhanced risk kind of severe weather, and the northern part of it really is like lackluster at best. Uh, let's see. Let's see. This could be a supercell trying to form here, a little blip here. It definitely does kind of look like a supercell, so I'll watch that because that is a pretty good looking blip there for a potential tornadic supercell. Um, this is our one of our main storms here. This is going to probably be your most intense storm. We have a lot of lightning with that storm. With this storm, actually, this is really in the middle of nowhere, to like the east of Silverton, Texas. So if you happen to be one of like the 5 people living in this area, just stay indoors. Don't get struck by lightning. Don't get hit by hailstones. Really, just stay inside and you'll probably be fine. Unless your house. Oh, wait. severe thunderstorm warning, 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So if you are in Lakeview, Memphis, in Texas, get indoors. Do not go outside. You're going to get hail 1 inch in diameter, and also some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts over the next hour or so. So make sure you just stay indoors and you will be fine. Looking at our velocities here, maybe it's starting to develop somewhat of a rotational area there. Yeah, that's becoming a much more tornadic looking supercell. So that will be very interesting to see what happens with that. If you have any weather related questions, feel free to ask them in the live chat. It could be about this event or any weather related thing in general. I will try to answer as many questions as I can. Have you ever seen a tornado? Not really. I don't think I've actually ever really seen a tornado. Like, I've seen like plenty of gust news. I've never actually really seen a tornado. Despite being literally like one of the biggest weather nerds, probably in Lincoln, I'm like, have never seen a tornado. Like, every opportunity I've had, I've somehow missed. Like, I don't know. I feel like I just have like, am I feel like I'm just not able to see tornadoes for some reason. No, it could be like right in front of me, and I somehow would not see it probably. With how this is going. Hopefully, I see a tornado this season. I'm probably going to go storm chasing a few times if I can. So, this could be interesting with what happens. And this could be an area of rotation trying to develop here. It doesn't look like much, but even the little weak rotational areas like there can eventually become strong, intense tornadoes. So we will definitely have to watch right there. 705 people are at this radar. Over 700 people at this radar. That's for a good reason. We have this very significant supercell developing here. This could honestly carry our event here. Oh yeah, you can see the rotation starting to become a little more defined. There, you can see we have lighter greens against some darker greens. That's an early sign of some rotation of the supercell. There, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we do have this severe thunderstorm warning. It's not tornado possible, but if this supercell keeps maturing, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a tornado possible tag on that soon. You can see we are definitely getting a split there. Yeah, it is splitting right now. Let me show you what is happening here, basically. Basically, this area here, this supercell, is going to split. And it's going to start going in this directions here. This supercell is going to split off north, more going in this directions here. So basically, this one goes more east, more tornadic. This one splits north, more hail. So basically, both of them are going to be concerning, but tornado is probably more concerning. Yeah, storm chasing, very dangerous. So you obviously storm chasing, you want to be like 50 miles away from a storm, but don't get like super close to a storm, because you always want to not you always want to be in a situation where you don't want to have an escape route. So if you feel like you need an escape route, you're probably too close. That's really important storm chasing. And also, if you're going to go storm chasing, never go storm chasing alone, because sometimes if it's nighttime, you're not always going to be aware, or sometimes you're going to get distracted by storms. You always need to have someone else storm chasing with you. Yeah, you can see that Supercell is interesting. What is that up? that looks like anticyclotic rotation, but it's like super. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but our main tornadic part of our supercell is probably going to be down here, or I have about half an hour until I have to end this stream. So hopefully the storm can mature in time because I don't want to have to wait like 5 hours for this thing to produce a little like dust swirl for 5 seconds. Over 800 people are on the same rate. That's very interesting up there. That's almost like anticyclonic rotation, but it's like not even in the precipitation part. That's probably just radar corruption. I don't know. That's very unusual. I've only seen that ever happen a few times in my years of tracking storms. Or we got 7 likes. We only need 3 more likes until I get to 10 likes. At 10 likes, I will bring my cat on the stream for like 10 or 20 seconds so you guys can say hi to her and stuff. So if you want to see my cat on the stream, make sure you share this stream and also like this stream if you haven't already. Um yeah, the supercell basically big blob of rain. This is turning into a huge blob of rain right now. I gotta go blow my nose. I'm gonna be right back. Alright, I am back now. 8 viewers, alright. We have some supercells out here. Ooh, that is a merger occurring right now. So basically a merger is when, let me get my drawing feature on here. So basically you have your main supercell up here. Very nice. You have this little shower down here that gets sucked into the inflow of a storm, whatever, and then as the storm matures here, that can actually help it as long as it doesn't get a bunch of mergers. And we do have 8 viewers or 5 viewers right now. If you want to see my cat on the stream and help push the stream out to more people, make sure to like this stream. At 10 likes, I will show my cat on the stream. So if you want to see my cat on the stream, make sure you like this video and also share this live stream with as many people as you can so we can get a word out about this significant event, especially if you have any family in the Texas Panhandle, West Oklahoma, South Central Kansas here. New mesoscale discussion here. Let's see, max tornado intensity 120 to 150 miles an hour. So we definitely have the potential for strong to intense tornadoes now. All right. Wind gusts reaching 65 to 80 mile an hour. Hail reaching 1.5 to 2.5 inches in diameter. So that is very significant. Our tornado threat is the most significant, though. What are they saying? Supercells up to 2,000 joules per kilogram of creep. Effective bulk shear 30 to 40 knots. Lapse mid-level lapse rates exceeding 7.5 Celsius per kilometer. Discrete storm mode. Yeah, that is not good. That is not good. We are looking at a significant event here. I won't be able to be live for most of it because we are just getting started, and I already have to go. And like I have like 30-ish minutes left that I can be live. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to watch it on your own or watch people for coverage once I get off. But I will be live for hours and hours tomorrow, potentially up to 9 or 10 p.m. And looking at the so yeah, that's a very good merger happening right there, and you can see starting to get a little hook developing on that. That's probably going to become a tornadic supercell right there. So we'll have to watch that and see if that becomes a strong to intense cyclic tornadic supercell there, because that definitely is a possibility. Honestly, I would be surprised at the zero Z outlook if they have already released it. I wouldn't be surprised if they expand the 10% tornado risk there. Oh my goodness, 8 viewers. Alright. If you want to help spread this stream to more people, see my cat on the stream, make sure to like this video and also share this live stream with as many people as possible so we can get the word out to as many people as possible. Let's see. Do they have the zero Z SPC outlook out now? Not yet. Unfortunately. Alright. 8. We've had a lot of viewers this stream. That's pretty great. We should have the SPC outlook coming out in the next 10-20 minutes. So, oh my goodness, 10 viewers. Let's go, Newt. I think that's the most viewers I've ever had on a stream. Thank you guys for watching my stream here. That will help my channel a lot. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I will do more severe weather coverage live streams like this over the next few months as we get more severe weather events. And also make sure to share the stream with as many people as possible, especially in northwestern Texas, western Oklahoma, and to south central Kansas as well. Going back to our storms here. Yeah, that split's being kind of slow, and we have radar corruption. Yeah, we don't talk about what's going up. We don't talk about what's going on up there. There's really just a lot of stuff going on, and it's very, very. Oh, yeah, that split's definitely happening. This is going to be our dominant tornadic supercell from this split, and we'll probably see a low-level mesocyclone start developing soon. But yeah, this is actually going pretty good with this merger here. Not seeing much in terms of rotation in the low levels. Going up to upper levels, not seeing much either. So this is obviously still a maturing supercell, so give it some time. Unfortunately, it probably won't be here when we have our highest tornado threat, but I will be live until around 7:15 Central, 8:15 Eastern, so make sure you watch until then. We got 10 viewers again. What is going on? I guess I'm just getting a lot of viewers today, but we do have this intense supercell starting to farm here. We have a split ongoing right now. The northern red part's gonna go north, become a hail threat. Southern red part gonna go more to the east, become more of a tornado threat. Alright, we got 10 likes on my stream. Let me go get my cat real quick. If I can find my cat. Alright, guys. I got the cat. Here she is. Say hi to my cat, Andy. Andy, look. I got 6 viewers. Look, you see that? No, she just wants to attack my light. What is wrong with you, cat? What is going on in your imaginary brain? But she is cute. So say hi to Andy. And going back to my weather coverage here. Um, no, Andy, you're not ending my live stream. I don't know what she's trying to do, but the supercell is expanding south of the severe thunderstorm warning. What is happening with this? Let's go back over here to our supercell here. That is continuing to look better. You can see we have a kind of hook out there now. Oh no. No, we're on the edge of a radar beam, aren't we? We're far from the radar. That. Oh my goodness, cat. Why are you yapping? Go. Andy, move. There. I got the cat out. Anyways, going back to our severe weather, we have a special weather statement up here in western Oklahoma. What is that? Oh, hail. There is hail with that storm. Um, 40. What do you mean penny-sized hail, Bert? What do you mean penny-sized hail? That's probably like 1 inch hail right there. What is the NWS talking about, bro? This is NWS fail right here. Bro, that has to be like at least. There's no way that's penny-sized hail right. Um, is that a mesocyclone? What? I'm confused. What? I don't even know what's going on with these storms anymore. Let's just leave that one be and go back down to the storm here. Um, alright, that's still on the edge of a radar beam, but all of these storms are in inconvenient places right now, on like the edge of radars. Except this one. This one's actually kind of close to it. Why does that one look more like a supercell in the sun? Or why? What? Alright, there's nothing going on really there in terms of tornadoes. I think this storm is still maturing here. Yeah, we have. This storm might become our next supercell if we can, like. Those supercells are kind of close together. Let's go, 11 viewers, new record for me. Alright, thank you guys for tuning to my live stream. We have some storms out here. We have multiple supercells out here that could soon become intense and start producing strong to intense tornadoes later this evening. If you know anyone in northwestern Texas, western Oklahoma, into south central Kansas, at least let them know about the situation. And if you want to, share the stream with them so they can get real-time updates on the severe weather threat out here. Let's see. I still don't know what we're talking about at Penny Size here, but maybe they know something I don't. Yeah, mainly. When did these supercells mature? When did these supercells mature? Alright, I guess we have a couple other supercells trying to mature out here. I don't think this storm is going to be our first tornado producer anymore because it looked good for a little bit, but now it doesn't look as good. I think our main tornado producer probably going to be one of these storms out here at this point within the next 30 to 60 minutes. And I have about 15 minutes before I'm going to end this stream off here. Yeah, mainly just some scattered supercells out here. They're really not maturing beyond what they have already. That probably has something to do with the mesoscale. Let's see if we have the new SPC outlook out now. I'm just gonna look at my phone real quick. No? Maybe not. Right. Issued 2 minutes ago, so it's probably gonna take a few more minutes for it to get fully updated. So, yeah, mainly just looking at some storms now across western Oklahoma, the eastern Texas Panhandle here. You have one severe thunderstorm warning. Uh, yeah, that storm not looking as good anymore. These two are kind of close together. We'll see what happens with that. That one not looking as good. These two could mature some, and this one's just doing whatever it wants out here. It doesn't really care about the conditions out here, I guess. Like, I don't even know what's. Oh my goodness, it's lagging. Oh my goodness, why is there so much lightning out here? Um, I don't know why we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning. If we can have a severe thunderstorm warning for that storm all the way out here to the southwest of Memphis, I don't understand why I can't have a tornado warning for the. And they issued a severe thunderstorm warning as I talking. That couldn't be better timing right there. That couldn't be better timing. Um, let's see. Now we have two severe thunderstorm warnings here, and well, it seems our event is really getting started now. I don't know when we'll see our first tornado warnings, but it's probably going to be after I end this stream here. So, yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say. But again, if you're in Putnam and Taloga, Alabama, I mean Oklahoma, make sure you are indoors, away from windows, because we could see some large hail. But why am I getting disturbed during my live stream? I'll return do not disturb does not work for some reason. It's probably because for some of us we're just prioritize even during do not disturb. I don't want to bother to change that though. Oh my god, bro! I need to stop getting email, bro. Let me turn off my emails real quick so I can stop getting spammed. There we go. There. Now I can show my screen again, so I don't get spammed by emails. That was very random. I don't even know what happened. I'm just getting spam. Alright, let's get radar back on here. There we go. Looking at our supercells out here. Yeah, nothing's really happening. Like, not really at all. Honestly, that northern storm looks more tornadic for some reason. Even though there's like no rotation, it looks kind of tornadic. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Why did they sound separate when they said tornadic? It was it just me or they sound separate when I said tornadic? Let's see if we now have our new storm prediction center outlook out. Any changes? Yeah, nothing changed at all really. Like it's basically the exact same outlook they had before. Yeah, nothing really to talk about. All right. So, just a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. These storms are continuing to just kind of. This one's weakening up here. This one. It got dark. Uh, there we go. All right, now I am lighter again. Oh, that's kind of bright, but it's fine. Yeah, this storm is looking much more tornadic now. This looks like it could become our big tornado producer. I've noticed that a few times before, but this January looks like a big tornado producer. But with how this event's been going, this is probably just gonna completely just dissipate randomly, or become like super sloppy or something. What? Why? Huh? I don't know what's happening over here, but alright, let's see. How far up in the atmosphere is that? That's only like 7,500 feet, which probably that might be a tornadic supercell there. I really can't tell, but it's kind of too far away from the radar, but it is moving closer soon. So after my live stream's done, you guys will probably have a better idea of what that supercell is looking like. Um, Going back down here, just a few showers and stuff here. Um. Well, we do have this supercell here, but like, what? I don't even know what's gonna happen with these at this point. Anything can happen at this point with how this event has been going. Um, yeah, that's basically all I have to say right now. Um, I guess we could just keep looking at the storm because this is like the most interesting thing right now. Has a very interesting shape to it. It might have some rotation, kind of hard to tell because we're kind of looking mid levels here, not lower levels. We want to be looking more towards like 4,000 feet. Right now, we're looking 7,500 feet of atmosphere. That's a little bit high. That's usable, but it's still kind of high up in the atmosphere there. So we'll have a better idea by the time it gets closer to putting him. Putnam, Putnam, Put. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it anymore. Our storms to the near Wellington, Texas. Yeah, those are looking. Yeah, those are that one. Whoa! That's actually looking like a pretty nice supercell there. You can see that nice little hook there. Wouldn't be surprised if it becomes tornadic over the next hour there. Um, it seems that these couple of storms here are really gonna carry our event until like the next couple of hours. Later, we're going to get some more storms, but really, right now, storms are still maturing. Things can change, so go watch another weather live stream after I'm done because there's probably going to be a lot more intense severe weather. Your connection is unstable. What do you mean, bro? My connection is not unstable. You just don't want me to live stream. This is kind of it's kind of looks like a supercell, but it's also kind of surrounded by like rain and stuff. But it does seem quite intense from all the lightning it's producing. Wait, why did screen sharing pause? What? Why is it paused? Uh, that's random. Did All right, only a few more minutes before my stream ends here. Let's see. 11 viewers again. That's really good. This has been like one of my most successful streams ever. Maybe it's just my thumbnail. Maybe that's why so many people are clicking because I have a pretty good thumbnail. The new Storm PGX's center outlooks make it much easier to make a professional looking thumbnail for the weather though. I feel like it just looks a lot more professional. New special weather statement for that storm out there to the southeast of Clarendon, suffering to the east to the northeast of Clarendon in Texas. Pay attention to that storm. Again, this is continuing to show a very good tornadic shape to it. That's a very good tornadic shape. If you have any questions in the final minutes of my stream, feel free to ask those of each live chat. I will answer as many as I can. Oh yeah, that is looking a lot. Whoa, 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 what happened? What? Huh? This looks like it's going to be a very good supercell there. I will definitely watch that as over the next couple of. Oh my goodness, is my software again? Oh my goodness, my software's just wants to glitch. All right, let's. There we go. I guess we'll just do that then. I can't even see my own face cam, but that's like the only way I'm gonna get this to work here. Um, Actually, let's minimize. Oh no, it's lagging. It's lagging. Alright, I think I'm just gonna end off the stream here. Thank you all for watching my stream. I will be live again probably tomorrow, probably around 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 or 6 p.m. Central Time, so make sure you tune in for that. I will be live until 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 or 10 p.m. Central Time, and it's probably going to be a lot more intense than it was today. Goodbye.